and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 288 for the week of December 6, 2016. My name is Ryan Higgins, and if you were one of the 38,000 people ahead of me in line to buy Hamilton tickets, you can go fuck yourself. Who's here with me this week?
Wait, wasn't Bryce in line?
Technically, Bryce was ahead of me in line, so Bryce, go fuck yourself.
My name is Brycington Comicton.
Brock Sager's here.
Brycington Comington, thank you. That's actually Bryce's full name is Brycington Comington, just like Blackagar, Blackabolt, what the fuck is his name?
Black Bolt?
No, Blackagar Boltagon.
And there's a million comics I haven't read. Just you wait. There's more than a million comics I haven't read. This is Bryce.
Charlie.
And I'm here also.
Hello, Charlie. Charlie really is the Aaron Burr of this podcast, right? I mean, I just...
The villain of our history books?
Huh?
No, that's you, bro.
He's talk less, but smile more, right? And that's Charlie, right?
Oh. Yeah. Talk less, smile more? You sure that's not me?
Well,
when
you should talk less. No, you are the Hamilton of this podcast. Okay, let's just get this over with. Yeah, let's just get this over with. All right.
When Charlie has evil Charlie beard, though, he doesn't smile as much.
Yeah. No, he's all right now.
That's because when I have a beard, I press my lips together.
But yeah.
Which nobody in the podcast can see right now.
So I've never had to buy tickets to Comic-Con, but I assume trying to buy tickets to Hamilton is pretty much the same thing.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that it's less aggressive getting Comic-Con tickets. That was craziness.
Well, I don't know the full details on this, but just based on what I understand on the internet after the fact, at least with Comic-Con, they greatly limit the amount of tickets you can buy.
This is 6 per person. They put you in a random queue. I was literally number 38,000 in line.
Yeah, we had 2 computers, and you had 2 computers too. Our 2 computers, my wife's computer was 43,000, and I was randomly 11,000. And so we're like, score! Until you hear the end of the story. But what were your 2 numbers?
I was 38 and 43 or 44 or something. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
My brother-in-law texted me, and he was 53. This old man at work came into my office, and he was like, I didn't even know he was getting it for friends, because he actually got the season pass.
Okay. Yeah.
But he's trying to get it for some friends, and he came in, he's like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm number 83,000 in line. I'm never going to get these fucking tickets.
Yep.
It's like, Bill.
And if you go on StubHub, there's a couple thousand up there for $1,200 to $1,600 a pop. So, wonderful.
Triple, quadruple the price.
It's more than that. Those are $200 tickets. Those are
for the $200?
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Sextuple the price? Is that the right...
Yeah, at least. So
what you're telling me is that the demand to see this show means that the show should be here for a longer duration of time.
Well, that's not how it works, unfortunately.
I know, but I'm
have you ever worked in the comic industry? It's about limiting the supply and demand.
Yeah, Hamilton tickets are like the variant cover of release day Wednesday.
That's a fucking great analogy or parallel.
Half of them go up on eBay.
No, but Hamilton actually retains its monetary value. Variants normally just drop.
Some of them do. All right, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about this week. We are going to, me and Charlie at least, are going to cover the CW crossover for the shows in a little bit, so if you don't want to be spoiled, you may want to tune out for that part. But not a ton of big news this week, but some cool stuff. Charlie, this one's for you. I'm going to cover this real quick, just as the rare comic. End of year, man, there's no comic news.
Okay, so it's either Zub related or...
It's oversized hardcover related.
Okay.
I do want to actually, before we get into the news, a little housekeeping here. If you want to, we are going to be doing a episode on the 20th. We're actually recording a long episode. It's going to be cut into 2 parts. It's our top comics and movie and general geek culture stuff.
Indie and DC and Marvel and it's our list episode.
It's our end of year episode. And so we're going to have our best of lists. We're going to break it down into 2 weeks. I think we're going to do the TV show, movie, and general stuff the first, and the comic the second week. If you want us to we will read some lists on the podcast. I'm actually going to go through, and everyone that submits a list to me, I'm going to add up all those lists and calculate how many times certain books or certain movies are on certain lists. And I'm actually going to take all our listeners and put together their top 3 list. So for all our categories.
We would have to probably do more like top 5.
Well, top 3.
Because everybody needs to send something in. And I mean everybody.
Well,
get on your computer.
I don't have that much time.
Listen to Brock, guys.
I hope a few...
Put Higgins to work.
I hope a dozen or 2 dozen people send me the list. If thousands of people send me the list, we won't be doing this. But if you want to send us your list, The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net. That's The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net.
Is it the or the?
You want to send us your top 3 comic TV shows of 2016 that's aired in 2016, top 3 comic movies, top 3 independent comics, top 3 Marvel, and top 3 DC. And we're going to go ahead and match those all up for you guys, and we'll read select ones as they come in. So you guys got plenty of time. We're going to be recording on the 20th, so try to get it to me by the 19th, because I'm not going to have time on the day of the 20th to actually add more people to this list. So you have...
Well, I say let's say by Sunday night.
By
18th, by the end of the 18th.
By Monday the 19th, you have...
Just let Higgins make
Jesus.
the rules of this podcast.
Just like fucking with him?
It doesn't help anyone. Just send us your list by that Monday, and then we will. I will go through and get all those lists together. So, and you can also, if you want to, you can put it on our Facebook group. I will pull from there as well. Email is a little easier, but either way is fine. All right, let's get to one random bit of news and then some bigger topics. Charlie, you love hardcovers.
Yes, I do.
You love DC Rebirth.
Yes, I do.
You were sad that DC Rebirth only had soft little dinky soft covers coming out starting in January.
I'm not going to say that I'm sad just because I believe in the inevitability of nice hardcovers for quality products.
Well,
look who you're talking to. This guy has never disliked anything.
You should be lucky, because starting in, I believe, July, DC is going to start releasing their first seemingly oversized. It's deluxe edition, which for DC has been their oversized.
Yeah.
So I don't see an actual size here, but I believe it's going to be oversized. That includes Justice League Volume 1 and Volume 2 Deluxe Edition, Batman Volume 1, Superman Volume 1 and 2, and Aquaman Volume 1 and 2. So basically taking the 2 soft covers, oversized hardcover, and there you go. $34.99 being just a little bit over the price of the soft covers. I believe it's only about $5 more. So
I love that math.
That's good value, nice oversized hardcover. So if you were interested in picking up those soft covers in January and you'd rather wait for the hardcovers, there you go.
Next summer.
You want to do that.
Coming summer.
Actually, Superman and Aquaman are $29.99. They may have one less issue in them, though.
Yeah.
And Justice League and Batman, I think, are one more. Yeah, so they start coming out, looks like every other week starting July 18th. So that's a good release schedule.
Yeah.
Very excited for that. Now, Bryce, I'm sorry. We're going to have to talk a little bit about a trailer here. So hopefully we will keep spoilers to a minimum.
As long as it's a Marvel trailer, then I'll accept it.
Well, as long as it's a Marvel trailer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it is. But you would have liked to see Marvel movies, so you're okay with us talking about it?
I'm known to like things come out, produced by Marvel.
That is true. But you don't like hearing about trailers.
That is definitely true.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk briefly about the Guardians of the Galaxy. This I don't know if they're calling this the official trailer or if this is like teaser number 2.
This is teaser 2 is what I saw it listed as.
I hate this crap.
Because they had teaser 1, and then teaser 2 is a little bit longer.
Well, teaser 1 was super short. This was like 2:17, I want to say. This was over 2 minutes.
Okay.
This is a much longer trailer.
Yeah, it's not a trailer. I think it's classified as the second teaser.
It makes no sense. This is a trailer.
Don't
It's 2 minutes. It's a trailer. But I did read a couple things online, quotes from James Gunn, who said that he doesn't actually want to have the story really told at all in the trailer.
Yeah.
So this is there's nothing in this trailer that's a spoiler short of...
well, he kind of kept that going with Guardians when he did the original trailers and teasers for Guardians.
Yeah,
it was just kind of there. It wasn't until it came to like TV and stuff where you kind of started to get a little feel for a story.
Yeah, I don't even think... There wasn't even very much of that. I feel like they, for the most part, kept the trailers... Yeah.
Yeah, the
pretty
first
limited for story.
Guardians was all about just communicating the tone of the movie in the trailers.
It's not like the Avengers movie. They were like, here, we'll show you the final scene of the movie. Oh, stupid Avengers.
Chink in the armor.
Yeah, you know it. No, that'd be Age of Ultron.
I thought you were talking about.
No, that first Avengers trailer, they showed like the whole scene where Hulk jumps up and grabs Iron Man and like goes down the building. That's like one of the last scenes in the movie. I hate it when movies do that. That was such like a centerpiece of that trailer that I'm watching the movie and I'm like, well, clearly Iron Man's not going to die, but clearly this is what happens now because it's the only scene we haven't seen yet. And,
well, okay, but two responses to that. One being just don't watch trailers, dude.
Oh,
The second piece being they leave out stuff all the time from the trailers.
Yeah.
Didn't Suicide Squad have a bunch of shit in the trailers that didn't come into the movie?
Yeah, some of it's on that extended.
Maybe it just isn't going to show up in the movie.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah.
For the Blu-ray release.
Oh, thank God. So why don't they
pre-ordered it?
Yeah. So why don't they just, why don't you just consider, maybe this isn't in the movie instead of letting it ruin the movie for you?
It's possible. Well, the Guardians trailer, they didn't show very much. But what they did show, Guardians Volume 2. But what they did show looked pretty good. Mm-hmm. They showed kind of an extended scene of Rocket and Baby Groot. We'll talk about that in a second. Surprise to me, I haven't been following this movie at all. I liked, as much as I can, not know anything going into these movies. I had no idea Mantis was going to be in this. This is an old Avengers and Guardians character, old bug girl with the little antenna.
Well, Abbott and Lanning brought her in their really, really good in the Guardians the Guardians you need to read, and she was on that team. So
she looks a little different, but I mean, it's still very. I mean, I can tell it was Mantis.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, super cool to see her in there. Again, there's no evidence of what the plot of this movie is going to be from the trailer. I mean,
well, it hints,
you get Drax.
It hints at love relationships.
Well, yeah. You get this kind of you get sort of like two extended comedy scenes. The part with Drax kind of freaking out at Star-Lord and.
He wouldn't freak out. He was laughing.
Well, but he's like, she told your darkest secret. Tell mine. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty funny. I trust this movie's going to be really good. I mean, it's the same guy, same people.
James Gunn did an amazing job on the first one,
right?
And so, I trust him. Like you said, going into the second.
I'm a little concerned though because of this trailer. Now, I expect they're going to show a lot of the comedy stuff in the trailer because that obviously gets reactions from the crowd, right? Which is fine. I don't want this movie to be overly comedic. Guardians was funny, but Guardians was not like a comedy. I mean, it starts extremely dark. There was really funny moments in it, but there was a lot of action. There was a lot of serious stuff. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just like an out-and-out slapstick comedy. So this trailer was almost entirely comedy, which is fine. As long as it is just peppered through the movie. My concern, though, and Brock, maybe, I don't know if you felt the same, that, 15, 20 seconds we got a Baby Groot was, it was kind of enough.
The action scene with him?
Just his whole interaction. It was a funny scene, but if it's 90 minutes of Baby Groot antics... I'm going to have even if it's 30 minutes of Baby Groot antics, I'm going to have a real problem with this movie. It was fine, but that is going to get annoying real fast.
That sounds like the perfect little web series leading up to the movie, though.
Yeah. I'm fine Baby Groot's going to be in it, obviously, and I'm no problem if he's in for the first maybe 20, 30 minutes, and he eventually...
Okay, here, I'll put your mind at ease a little bit. Even if he is in the movie, the whole movie as Baby Groot, just be happy that you're not getting Rastafari Groot.
I hate that too. I hate the Groot that's in the comics now.
Which would you deal with?
Even I hate that.
Baby Groot or the Rastafari?
Well, it was a funny scene, but again, it was this is going to really grate on me if it goes on for too long.
So I haven't seen the trailer, but I do have to remind us maybe that wasn't the first trailer from the most wildly popular trailer from the first movie, that whole comedic scene, just a bunch of jokes.
And that's why I said I'm mostly not worried about this. But I'm hoping, because I hope they don't go too... I hope they didn't take the wrong message from the first one, that people loved the comedy. They loved it because it was mixed in perfectly with the rest of the movie.
The thing is, Guardians was the first time we had actually gotten a really solid mix of action, comedy, drama. Like, it was a good overall movie in the sense that it brought more than just, this is a sci-fi movie or this is an action movie.
You know, all the Marvel movies have had comedies, but have had comedy, but they're not just an outright comedy.
So this trailer is following the exact same pattern as the first very successful movie, and you're just throwing shade at.
No,
I hope it's not.
The first trailer was the lineup trailer, right? Mm-hmm. And that was just one straight scene that they showed. This cuts between a bunch of stuff, and they show a little bit of action. So, like I said, I am not too concerned. I just hope that.
You just want to let everybody know that
I do. I hope
could suck balls.
Well, and
you don't want it to.
No, I can understand your genuine concern because, I mean, if the entire movie is Baby Groot, then that's kind of a marketing thing. Let's make this all Baby Groot.
I don't expect it to be, but again, the comedy worked so well in the first one. I don't want them to have said, "Hey, this comedy was so good, let's ramp it up even more in the second one." I want the same level in this, And that Baby Groot scene, while funny in a short 30-second...
Are you talking about the one where he's interacting with Rocket, or are you talking about the one where it's the action one?
Oh, God, spoilers, Brock.
No, the whole scene with Baby Groot.
How is that a spoiler?
The whole scene with Baby Groot and Rocket.
I'm just kidding.
You know what?
You know
what? I'm going to spoil it. He says, "I am Groot."
Yeah.
Nice. So what you're saying is you don't want to happen to this movie what happened to Deadpool in the comics.
Sure, yeah,
I
guess.
The comedy was so
overtook.
popular and brotastic that they were like, "Oh, we can make a lot of money on this."
Well,
I'm actually concerned that that's what they're going to do with Deadpool 2. Because they're switching directors. You know, just like you, I hope that they don't do that with Deadpool 2. But
Well,
it's such a slippery slope. Like, it's so easy to just go for pratfalls and laughs.
Yeah. Deadpool was a very good... Again, I would not call Deadpool a comedy. It was a great superhero action movie with a lot of comedic elements, but it wasn't just like joke after joke after joke after joke. There was, again, really serious stuff in that movie.
Right,
extremely
but
serious.
sci-fi or not, I would put the joke level the same as Guardians with Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a PG-13 to an R humor, but the level of comedy, I'd say, is roughly the same. Yeah. Maybe not, maybe a little heavier on Deadpool's side, but again, it wasn't. It's not Airplane.
Well, the thing is,
I don't want or Naked Gun, and I don't want it to be.
The thing is with Deadpool, it's the character himself is that way. He's quick. He's comedic. He talks. That's how he talks. In Guardians, it's like you said. There's a certain level that works perfectly, and then you can easily go over that.
Yeah. That's what I don't want. So, but trailer looks fun. I tend to kind of shut down, so I don't know that I'll watch two more. Maybe if there is a more plot or action trailer, I'll kind of watch that. But Charlie, if you end up watching it, let me know what you think.
Yeah, I'll watch it tonight, probably.
Yeah.
Now, are we calling him Baby Groot because Baby Groot's technically in the pot? Isn't this more like toddler or child Groot?
Yeah, he's running around
because he's got legs.
So, we do want to talk for a little bit here about the DC crossover event. I know, Brock, you have not had a chance to see it.
No, I didn't.
And
you can
Bryce
thank
who you're looking for.
Bryce doesn't.
Xfinity for not allowing me to watch it on my a non-home Wi-Fi network,
which is weird. However, Charlie, so me and you got to see the, let's say 4-part is being a little
3.1.
Yeah. We'll get the Marvel numbering 3.1. So Supergirl, let's start with the beginning. Supergirl had nothing to do with the crossover. The last 5 minutes was the kind of prologue of getting her over, and they replayed those exact same scenes, cut up a little bit, in Flash.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like Supergirl aired its mid-season finale, basically.
And now this week is all the rest of the finales, right? Yeah.
So,
this crossover took place during finales?
No, but
for Supergirl.
For Supergirl. The mid-season finale.
Oh, mid-season finale.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
that would have been too epic. Okay.
Yeah, and then when you get into the Flash part, it kind of rewinds to explain why Flash ended up on Supergirl at the end of Supergirl. And, I mean, they did a pretty good job of sort of peppering in something was coming through the episode.
Yeah, but there was no focus on it.
But it did bother me a little that, like, at the end, she's like, "I knew it was you." She never said it through the entire episode.
Yeah. But Supergirl. I mean, it's a great episode of Supergirl.
Yeah.
But that aside, so we got the 3-part crossover, Dominators from DC's Invasion comic,
and they looked amazing.
They looked
Dominators looked.
They looked exactly like the Dominators. They did a really good job. I mean, look, this is not only TV budget. This is CW TV budget, right? I will forgive a level of effects and
there's
kind of
only so much money you can pay for really long claws.
Well, there's like a scene I think in
good abs
in the Legion Legends episode where they're like, oh yeah, we just dropped those characters off, because they can only have. They can't have like 30 characters on the screen at every one point. This isn't like a comic book, right? I mean, there's a specific amount of money, and actors can only work certain hours, and blah, blah, blah. So the reality of the situation is they didn't have every character in every episode.
I actually kind of like that, how they made sure that a couple of characters from each show kind of went through everything.
Yeah. Flash, Arrow, Supergirl.
The Flash had all the Flash characters in it to interact with people. Then when you got to Arrow, you had all the Arrow characters in it to interact with people.
Right, and some people went on the other show. It was like everyone was on at least 2 of the 3 episodes. That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah.
Whereas Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, Diggle was on all of them.
Yeah.
His wife, I believe, was on all of them. And
if Argus is involved, then yes, she's on all of them.
And a couple of the other characters were on all 3, but the majority of the characters were on all 2. So,
so you say CW budget? I thought the CW was more than a standard budget. Is that wrong? I don't know how it works.
Way less than an
NBC one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely
really
because of where they film and that kind of stuff. They stretch the money a little bit more.
I thought because it's such a smaller market, the marketing budget would be much less, and so they could spend more on special effects. But that's apparently way wrong.
No,
I just don't know.
But that being said, I also get the impression that their following for the CW shows has a stronger aftermarket presence at this point.
Got it.
Like you look at a lot of these other networks, they're no longer putting out Blu-rays successfully. Like CW seems to have a good following still for sort of aftermarket sales.
Well, because of the shows that they run, how many people are going to buy the Blu-ray of NCIS? Like, there's no point of that, right? But something like Vampire Diaries or Arrow, there is sort of this, there is a fandom audience that is interested in keeping these things. So I think there is an aftermarket.
And also, I mean, it's also a good time because these things are coming out when these products are a little bit cheaper. I used to get the CSI DVDs when they came out, but those were like $90.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And it was like on sale, you would maybe be lucky for $50. So you would have to wait for it to even drop to $20 or $30.
Oh yeah, no,
so
they're way cheaper now.
So it's like when these were coming out, they were at these really, really high price points, and everyone was like, so nobody cared.
Yeah.
Whereas now we're getting these shows coming out at a decent price point, and people are like, oh, I can grab that for $25. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of these still kind of have that weird built-in. We release it at this price, and then 6 months later, it will be on sale everywhere for a much cheaper price.
For much cheaper.
But yeah, overall, the crossover is pretty fun. It is not the strongest episodes, I would say, of all the shows. I think because
Correct
me if I'm wrong, but this was the 100th episode of Arrow, right?
Arrow, yeah. So they kind of play a little fast and loose with the crossover. They have the first Arrow or the first Flash episode was the first part where they're kind of getting the team together, and they get Supergirl, and they're like, "We're gonna fight aliens, and you're an alien, and you're way more powerful than us. So can you help us train?" And Supergirl kicks the crap out of him for half the episode. That was pretty funny. Then they're kind of getting on the big plan. The Dominators come down, and they start stealing a bunch of super powered people. So,
you mean meta-humans?
Correct, the meta-humans.
Well, no, they stole normal people.
Oh, sorry, they stole the normal people. You're right. They stole the non-metahumans.
Yeah.
Okay. They took Arrow and Diggle and Speedy and all those people. So then they were trying to, in the second episode, in the Arrow episode, we kind of get this alternate lifestyle of Arrow. His parents didn't die.
Yeah.
Diggle becomes Arrow. And so they're like probing his memory and probing all their memories to try to find out, like, stuff about the metahumans and Earth, and but they're going through their lives doing it. So again, for an episode of Arrow, it would allow them to bring back almost every cast member that had been on the show previously. And
yeah, it was more about celebrating the 100th episode in a lot of ways, and doing a lot of nods to. And I mean, one of the things I really, really liked about it is by having this be a crossover, you were able to bring Sarah into it, and it was definitely much more about revisiting what they've done over all these seasons.
And then the Legend episode, you kind of find out why they're attacking, and they figure out how to stop them. And spoiler alert, they beat them at the end. I won't go too heavily into details. But there is one thing that I should say that becomes obvious in the Legends episode. They should really stop time traveling in these shows, because Flash has fucked up everything every time he travels in time. Legends, by going back in time to basically stop the Dominators, they cause the Dominators to come to Earth, is the long and the short of it. So it's like, guys, have you not learned anything? You should really stop traveling through time, because you really screw stuff up every single time.
They just need to watch Back to the Future. I mean, seriously.
No, they talk about it and they mess it up every time. No, that show is really fun. So good to see those characters together.
One of the things that I really kind of appreciated about the crossover is there were a lot of threads they've been weaving into like Legends and the other shows this season that you didn't know were going to sort of suddenly pay off in this big crossover, with like the message that we didn't know the context of. And
that's going to play out more too in Flash. There's a message, kind of a futuristic message in a bottle that's left by future Barry for the Legends crew. So now, Charlie, I know, because it's everyone's favorite part of the crossover. I know your favorite part of the crossover is right towards the very end, when Brandon Routh, right, when the Atom's walking away, right, and he looks at Supergirl as she's dressed up as Carol. She was dressed as Carol, as Kara, right?
Yeah.
And he looks at her, and he kind of looks at was it Felicity? And he's like, hey, she kind of looks like my cousin. And as Supergirl's like walking away, so it was a pretty funny line.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a pretty good line.
Oh, that's good writing.
Yes,
cool.
For people that don't know, Brandon Routh also played Superman in the 2000.
Superman Returns.
I want to say, was that like 07, 06 or something?
Yeah.
2000 forgettable.
Yeah. She was good. The movie was just so blah.
He was good. The writing and stuff was
third
painful.
worst Superman movie ever.
But so crossover was really good. Yeah, do you think they're going to release it as like a standalone DVD?
I kept thinking they should, but they haven't announced anything.
Yeah, I figured they would have. And I'm curious because I know the Dominators are supposed to come back. Supergirl definitely leaves it open, and she's like, "All right, well, I helped you guys. Now,
Well, we know they're going to have the at least smaller crossover between Flash and Supergirl later in this season.
So we're going to get Flash going back, Supergirl. So yeah, really excited to see more what they do. These shows.
We're going to get more team episodes.
Well, and this is something I can definitely say about this crossover was, so most of the other crossovers were the standalone Arrow episode, standalone Flash episode, or the backdoor pilot to the Legends show sort of episode.
Yeah.
This was the first like true big crossover event going from show to show, similar to what you would see in most comic book events like this.
Yeah. So the ending of Flash led right into the beginning of Arrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Arrow and led straight.
Yeah. Like when the season sets come out,
I don't know what they're gonna.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's gonna be like insert disc blah of this show, or just include all of them.
Include them all in each one.
They should.
How they should.
Yeah. Look, these shows. It's not Westworld. It's not Game of Thrones. It's not even Jessica Jones or Daredevil, right? I mean,
unfortunately,
unfortunately, these shows, there is a limit to what they can do, but man, they're just so much fun, and they feel so right. They don't try too hard. They get away with pretty good effects, I think, at the end of the day for what I think the budget on those shows are. Like Charlie was saying, the Dominators looked really good, and they looked like extremely comic accurate too, which is rare. A lot of times they make them look all weird or too alien-y.
They give them like armor bones or some shit.
Yeah, for the most part, they looked pretty much
they
just like the Dominator.
Downplayed those like red a little bit.
Like the
like
dot
that
on
was
their head,
that was downplayed a little, but they.
Well, it's because the bigger it is, the more important you are, right? In their society.
I thought in general, though, they did an amazing job just with making it work.
I think you get there's kind of one problem when it comes to the big fight scenes, but it's not only in this, it was also in an event in Civil War, where the most powerful character kind of gets put off to the side until they're really needed, and you're like, where was this character the whole fight? Like Vision is like absent during that big fight between the two teams in the Civil War. He shows up like at one point for a second, and you're like, where the hell was Vision during this fight?
He shows up at the end, and they're like, oh shit, Vision's here, we have to get going.
I'm like, where have you been for the last 20 minutes?
And then it's like Vision shoots and then takes Rhodey down.
So there's a big kind of, the heroes versus dominators fight scene, and you're like, you see Supergirl, and she just kind of flies off, and you're like, where'd she go? Where'd Flash go? Well, Flash they had actually had doing something else. But with Supergirl, you're like, where the hell did she go? And at the end, there's like a scene where someone just gets saved, and she saves them. And you're like, oh, she's back. Where the hell did she go, though? I don't let these things bother me. It was a really fun crossover. So I
look forward to
it.
finally seeing it.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I think and I feel like you could probably watch this crossover even if you haven't seen too many of the rest of the shows. As long as you have a base understanding who these characters are, I think you're all right. Not a ton to talk about. We got a bunch of really good questions here, so I was going to hit up some of those.
Questions.
Yeah, we always like our questions. We got lots of great questions from our lovely Twitter followers here. And Bryce, I know you always like to update us on your reading before we get to some questions or anything. Have you had any reading time or?
Excuse me. I've been. So I've been probably keeping an equal, if not greater, cadence in my reading capacity. However, my purchasing of books per week has, what is it, doubled or tripled ever since that fucking Civil War II thing came out. So, yes, I'm still behind because I doubled or tripled the number of books that I'm getting. But I'm caught up on the latest. I should have thought of a better joke before I came here. The latest, I don't know, Demolition Man is all I can think of. Civil War II. It really comes down to Captain Marvel versus Iron Man.
Would you have thought in 2016 the biggest villain in the Marvel universe would have been Captain Marvel?
I don't think that she's the villain at all.
She is straight up the villain in this story, like 100% the villain.
But then again, I considered Iron Man the villain in the first Civil War, true. And I wouldn't have predicted that either.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's intentionally written to be like ambiguous or maybe just vague as to how your interpretation colors your feelings.
I don't think it's vague at all.
Well, dude, you're fucking like crazy ass when it comes to politics. Like, you fucking wear that shit on your sleeve. Like, you are crazy on one side versus the other. So, like, yeah, I'm not fucking surprised that you aren't that it's not vague to you because you are crazy on one side as opposed to the other. I'm saying that they try to play the devil's advocate in these books for the most part. They do I think they're doing a very good job of playing both sides of it.
I don't know. Earlier on, that cover looks like she's about to bane him.
Early issues, I completely agree they did a good job of sort of splitting it down the middle, not necessarily having her the bad guy.
Yeah.
But as the story's gone on, it's like Iron Man has turned more and more people over to his side. Like, he's standing there with Captain America, and like every single time they have an encounter, her side is getting huge amounts of attrition just because of, I would say, the lack of give she has over it.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like at this point in the story, yes, she called in the Guardians to help because she could call them in because she didn't have enough support of the Earth hero community at that point.
Yeah, that was kind of a bullshit move in my opinion. Like, why do they side with her? Like, that made no sense to me. Like, I've really don't get me wrong, I've really liked Civil War 2. I've really liked it. Possibly more than Civil War 1, but from a very different perspective. But I just thought that was like a cheap shot, just like, you know, splash page, last page of whatever issue that was, like calling in the Guardians, like, oh, the Guardians of the Galaxy agree with Captain Marvel. Like, why?
Because they teamed up in Ultimates.
So I mean, she's a space character, so I guess, you know, that's where they're going with that. You know, I get it, but I don't see Marvel writing a story. I mean, Bendis is so tied to the future of the whole Marvel Entertainment Universe. Bendis isn't writing a story where Captain Marvel's the villain, dude. I just disagree with that. Full stop. I mean, they're trying to make her the Marvel Wonder Woman, right? I mean, they're not going to make her the villain of this story. So I disagree there. I also think that, and I've already said that they're doing a great job of sort of having her show up, which is almost obnoxious, and I use almost superfluously, in like every book she's showing up
to try to recruit people.
There was I read the Rocket Raccoon and Groot story. I don't know if you guys are caught up on Rocket Raccoon and Groot, but there was like
you don't even stock shelf copies, do you?
I get some.
There was a 3-issue arc of that, which was actually hilarious, and I was like, "Who is this?" I don't know who it is, but the writer must be some like.
Oh, is that the one Gwenpool's in?
Yeah, must be some like 24-year-old dude, but he's hilarious because he like makes fun of he makes fun of Bendis, he makes fun of Gwenpool, he makes fun of himself. He's like, oh, you know, no good author would be in charge of killing off a character, so you know nobody's going to die in this story. Like, it was actually a really good story. Anyway, of course, Captain Marvel shows up in that, so it's like they're just shoehorning her into this. So
is she the new Spider-Man or Wolverine? Because they pop up. Wolverine and Spider-Man like would pop up in books like all the time.
Got it. I think that
you're in the 90s.
Okay. I guess I see what you're saying. I would say more like. I mean, recently more like Harley Quinn. You know, just because they have the movie coming out that they're going to be showing up everywhere. So, anyway, I see what you're saying, that they're trying to make her a polarizing character. I don't think that they're painting Tony Stark with much more sympathy. I mean, like in that one issue of Civil War II, he goes in and kidnaps that Ulysses kid, or tries to, I forget.
Yeah.
Does he succeed? I think
no,
he
he kidnaps him and then runs
And so it's like, I don't see what you're...
He melts his brain.
So your argument is that she's the villain? I just don't see that, and we've already kind of wasted too much airtime on it, I think. But
did you get to watch? Did you get to read Death of X or IVX?
Yeah, we talked about it last week, dude.
You finished Death of X, right?
Death of X, I've finished. I haven't read IVX. Have they had issue 1 yet?
The zero last week. Yeah.
The recap.
Yeah.
I figured out why the ending of Death of X bothered me so much.
Because nothing happened.
Because they still didn't explain why Cyclops was so hated.
And they didn't. They're like, oh yeah, there's 2 clouds. I guess we stopped
red and a green.
We stopped the cloud, and now there's another cloud. And
I've said this before, and I will say it again. You and Brock are the biggest trolls about
that Death of X did nothing.
Inhumanity.
It accomplished nothing.
No. What was it? You know what I'm talking about. It was the Hickman book, was it? No. Infinity with the Terrigen Cloud created, and Higgins and Brock were like, this will have no lasting repercussions ever.
It has.
You guys,
it's done nothing. It's created a bunch of shit books. And now it's going away.
Well, my question is, has it actually traveled around the globe once?
Yes.
Yeah, it constantly is traveling around the globe. That's the problem with it.
My thing is, when they first sort of established this jump forward in time with Marvel after Secret War, everybody hated Cyclops. Like, the young Cyclops was practically in hiding because he was infamous.
There's wanted posters.
Yeah, but there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's
I would have liked
trolly.
more of a explanation on why people would.
Well, I mean, dude, not only that, fucking hello, was it Secret Wars 1 or 2? He fucking arrives in a Phoenix egg. Like, what the literal fuck even is that? Like, that is not explained at all.
That's true.
I don't even fucking know. is that the future? Is that the past? I thought that was supposed to be explained with this Death of X IVX thing. Meanwhile, he's like choking on his own fucking phlegm from a Terrigen mist cloud. Emma Frost is like making everybody believe that Cyclops is still around.
That Death of X4 had some of the worst art I've seen in a Marvel comic this year.
Yeah, I said last week, it is the worst, second only to Frank Quitely. It is the worst art that I've seen in a Marvel book since I don't even know when. And I've read Squirrel Girl. There, boom, mic drop. So anyway, Death of X was just terrible. I actually liked the last issue in terms of repercussions, but what the fuck? Like, I thought this whole Phoenix Egg. Hold on, escape.
You're roping there.
Concede. Anyway, God, Death of X.
IVX was nothing. Like, the Inhumans are in 2 pages. It's purely a recap. They could have skipped Death of X entirely and just done this and just told you about it in IVX.
Oh God!
Well, it reminded me of, what was it, Endangered Species? That one shot and backup stories for Beast back in the Fraction days.
Oh yeah. Was it Endangered Species?
I think it was Endangered Species. They had that one shot, and then it was like Beast trying to figure out.
Yeah, it was like the last couple pages of every book.
Yeah, every book.
That was fucking awesome. That's in my bindings somewhere.
And it's like, that's what I was reminded of when I was reading this. I'm like, I've already read this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can see that, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, issues 1 through 3 were, and we talked about this last week again. The first 3 issues were nothing. Issue 4 should have been a 0 issue. We've already talked about that. The art was just the worst. I actually kind of like Emma Frost sort of stepping up and like manipulating everybody to get her own ends, but it's still not enough to merit more than a 0
they
issue.
just making her a villain again? Like, that seems kind of cheap after all this time.
I don't know. I would fucking love it if they made her a villain again. I mean, Cyclops dies and she like becomes a villain. That'd be fucking kind of cool.
Well, is Cyclops? I didn't understand. Is Cyclops dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they show him on the fucking autopsy table. What?
He died with
He died in issue 1.
Yeah, he died on Muir Island. When he went to investigate after the Terrigen.
So you just didn't read it?
No, I read it.
It was so good he forgot.
So you read it, but you didn't read it.
Okay, I read it, and I was like, I guess he died before. Is he dead?
I just got annoyed with like Emma jumping off the cliff and going, "I gotta practice being Rock." I was like, "Yeah, this feels like we're beating a dead horse."
That sounds like Ryan's complaint about people saying the word America.
Anyway, so America's not bad. It's America.
Got it. So anyway, Death of X. I don't know why we're still talking about this. It was terrible for the most part. I think that there were some elements that I liked, but again, definitely did not deserve a 4 issue. The art was ghastly. But you know what has been fucking incredible is Old Man Logan.
Yeah, Old Man Logan's been great.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Old Man Logan has been fucking awesome.
I'm still a couple issues back. But yeah, it's been a good book.
Anyway, what was the question that led to this, by the way?
Oh, no, I just was wondering if you had
questions.
If you had, no, I'm about to start a question. I was wondering if you had caught up on anything else.
You know what's funny?
Because I had just caught up on IVX.
X-Men, the title Uncanny X-Men has like no X-Men. It's got. I think Psylocke is literally the only X-Men. Like it's Magneto, Sabretooth, Monet, and Phantom X are the other ones. Who am I missing? Oh, Mystique. I guess. Don't get me wrong. I love Uncanny X-Men, and for all its '90s art camp that it's got with killing the was it the First Riders? What are Apocalypse's team called? Dark Riders. Sorry. And I think was there some Marauder stuff in there? Anyway, there's some Dark Angel stuff. Sabretooth's killing but not killing people.
So is it almost like Uncanny X-Force?
It actually is. Like, I mean, the art is very 90s. I will use air quotes and say gritty. No, I actually will take away the air quotes. I think that it is kind of gritty.
It's just dark. It's just land.
Anyway, it's been great. Uncanny X-Men has been great in more of a campy sense, but still really fun. And Old Man Logan's been fucking legitimately good. All new X-Men, fuck that shit. Extraordinary X-Men, I'm a few behind, but Magic is apparently dealing with this other magician.
I hate websites that autoplay. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
But they announced a couple more creative teams for X-Men books, but nobody cares. I got a couple questions here.
Except for like 51% of your audience. Yeah. Better skip that.
Did they announce Cable yet?
No. I would let you know if they did.
Ron Perlman. Okay, here, gun to your head, Higgins. Squirrel Girl or Death of X? Worst art. Go.
Oh, Death of X.
Okay.
Not even a question.
Charlie, worst art.
I like the art in Squirrel Girl. I mean, it fits the book.
Really behind in Squirrel Girl.
Oh, God.
So I couldn't tell
even
you.
gun to your head. I said the words gun to your head. You still can't dislike something?
Okay,
No, the
fine.
art in
Let
Death
me
of
grab
X.
the book.
Okay, while you're thinking, Brock, Squirrel Girl, Death of X, worst art.
The art in Death of X
Squirrel
is no. The art in
Yes.
no. The art in
Yes,
Squirrel
it's
Girl is
Squirrel Girl.
stylized, but it fits the book, and it is well drawn for what it is. The art in Death of X is bad. Up, down, left, right, bad.
No.
But no, he's asking gun to the head opinion, not.
There is no opinion there. It is fact.
Oh,
the
God,
art in Squirrel Girl is
I'll
it's
take
cartoony and stylized, but it's not bad art.
Any day.
in
I will
any
take
way,
the
shape, or
art
form.
of. I will take the quietly art of Death of X in every book I ever read before reading another Squirrel Girl book.
Nah, you're beyond wrong. Question from Casey.
Wait! Charlie just read tiebreaker.
You're right. Squirrel Girl is worse.
Yeah, you guys are
3-1, Higgins. How do you respond
you
by
guys are
changing the subject?
You guys are crazy.
Yeah, one of us is.
All right. This is actually kind of a continuation from a topic we had last week. Speaking of continuing topics from last week.
My homework.
But there's a little bit of asterisk on this. This is from Casey. He says, the 90s had a surplus of good cartoons. What are your favorites outside of Batman and Superman?
Well, obviously, I love the 90s X-Men.
Yeah,
I
that's
also
fucking-
love the 90s Spider-Man. That was
Have you
very-
actually tried to rewatch that?
I have
You
rewatched
said
it
that,
all.
You said that last week.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty
God,
rough.
you're such a-
X-Men, I think, holds up.
You're such a
Spider-Man's... Have you tried rewatching the Spider-Man
No,
one?
but you say that because you know that nobody else has the time to. You're talking
pretty rough.
in a
No,
room with
when it
three
was-
other people that have kids, and you're like, I've watched all the Spider-Man again.
No.
when it was on Netflix, I actually sat down and watched all of it again with my kids. And
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah.
I liked it still.
This just in, Charlie liked it.
Come on, I mean that.
No, I'm not disagreeing
The
with
thing
you.
about-
I'm just like,
well, no,
Higgins is asking, are you sure that you liked it, Charlie? It's like, fucking look who you talking to. Are you kidding me?
The thing about the 90s Spider-Man for me is there were certain story arcs they wanted to go to, like with Venom, but they didn't want to sort of try and adapt exactly what they did from the comic books. So they simplified it in a way, and it works really well in a format like that where you can still have the whole alien symbiote, you can still have the sort of dark turn, and you can still kind of play out some of those classic scenes of like the bell tower and that kind of stuff. I will always, always, always appreciate shows that dig deep into source material. And while the 90s Spider-Man did frustrate me in the way that it didn't give final resolution to some of its story arcs, like with Mary Jane.
Was that because it got canceled?
No, I think it just ran to the point where it's like, well, we need to wrap it up and we're not going to undo some of this. But it's like,
Yeah, you know those loose ends we had? Yeah, fuck it. We're not even going to deal with them.
What channel was this on? Was that
it
on
was
Fox?
on Fox. And it went like 5 seasons or something. It went a long time.
How do I even not fucking remember this?
Because you probably watched X-Men and you're like, I'm done for the
Like,
day.
So the 90s Spider-Man never introduced Gwen Stacy, but still did the whole like bridge scene, but with Mary Jane instead.
Oh.
But
Not-
they had
So it's like the movie.
she didn't die, but as far as Spider-Man knew, she was dead.
Huh.
So he could kind of carry those consequences, but they kind of had this whole thing where an unstable portal that they had in the story arc because Green Goblin was using, I want to say, Spot's powers to sort of jump from place to place, but the machine got damaged. So the thing like opened up a portal. So Spider-Man saw her fall. She falls into this unstable vortex and never seen again in the show, basically.
What? That's bullshit.
Can I just say that Spot is terrible? Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Dude, Spot is... Are you fucking kidding me? Spot is Mirror Master, bro. You are such a DC troll. You will fucking sing the praises of Flash and the fucking Mirror Master all day long. Spot is the fucking Mirror Master. You are a troll. Case closed, ladies and gentlemen.
Mirror Master is amazing.
God damn it.
Next question.
You know, this conversation was worth it just for that.
God damn, you are just the worst human being ever.
Spot. Spot's like some random 80s bullshit Spider-Man villain.
Spot is incredible.
Mirror Master's like OG Flash villain.
Mirror Master, I also like Mirror Master, but like I'm not a fucking hypocrite. I actually like Spot. I more ironically like Spot than Mirror Master, but yeah, Spot
like
is
Typeface too.
Spot is fine. I actually don't even know that one. You know what we should do? We should have a podcast dedicated, or at least a portion of a podcast dedicated
to the worst
to
villains,
the
worst characters.
No, just Spider-Man's D-list villains. Because there is
all of them except for like Green Goblin.
Yes,
except for like the Sinister Six.
No, I'm not even joking.
Most of the Sinister Six are fucking bad villains.
He has
too.
an arm's length list of the worst villains, but that are hilarious.
Leapfrog,
and then we could do
White
the same
Rabbit.
thing for Batman,
Griffin,
Batman villains,
Griffin.
Griffin. No. Yeah. Look, can I do some homework? I don't want to do it right now because there's too many. There's too many good ones.
Well, we would need pictures to go along with this so we could see the ridiculousness. You know what you should do? You should bust out your old official Marvel A to Z guides.
Oh, yeah, I should do that. No, I didn't. When I was in college, I took all of those. It was like 12 issues long, A to Z encyclopedia. Yeah. I took them all from like quarter bins. I probably fucking got them all from you. I don't even remember. But
Marvel's was the
official guide to
official
the
guide. Yeah. DC's
A through Z or whatever.
Yeah.
And I took them all and I like lined them up and I used Scotch tape.
Well,
and I,
the cover's all connected.
That's what.
The cover's amazing.
It's fucking amazing. And
Yeah.
I connected them all.
That's awesome.
And like I just rolled them up and I kept them throughout all of college. And anyway, little nerdy secret. There's no end to that story, but there you go.
Well, here we go. This is from TB. Thank God Toby's not here. He says, I'm a huge fan of your podcast, but I got a question. Who is better, Cable or Gambit? Thank God Toby's not here.
Yeah, it's Cable.
Yeah, that's no fucking...
I would think even Toby would say Cable.
No. Toby would hear you say those exact words, and he would be like, "Oh no, Ryan Higgins! No, you are just trolling me right now. Of course, Gambit's way cooler. But then I have to defer to Charlie.
Gambit's fine.
That's exactly what Toby would say.
He can carry a story, but Cable legitimately has like a story behind him, and there's like a history.
What was the exact wording of the question? Who's cooler?
Who is better?
Who's
Cable
better?
or Gambit?
Oh yeah, come on. Cable is cooler and better.
I think Cable just has a better.
What do you even? Come on. I love Gambit. Probably. Oh, number one Gambit fan in the room, Bryce, not Toby.
Well, I got a question here. We actually got a number of questions here from
Bryce laughing at his own jokes.
Kratoa-san on Twitter. Asking about the DC crossover, which we talked about, and then also, what are you guys looking forward to next year? And actually, that is also going to be part of our last two episodes of this year, as well as what are we looking forward to for next year. So keep an eye open for those two episodes. We'll hear about that. You hear our thoughts of 2017. What's coming up? It's not the fucking garbage dumpster fire that this year has been. This is from Bernard.
I know.
He says, "Will you be doing
BBS
anything?"
was terrible.
He's like, "Will you be doing? Will you be doing anything special for episode 300? It's coming up." He says, "Logan will be releasing about that time. Maybe a live remote podcast. Oh, maybe I don't know.
Or maybe a commentary by Mr. Higgins and Mr. Larsen.
Oh my God, terrible.
Okay. Why don't we put it out there? What would they like us to do besides? That's one idea. So give us some more ideas.
Yeah. We'll figure something. It's from Hiram. He says, "Have you ever rewatched Hiram?
Jesus.
Hiram.
I'd like a harem.
Have you ever
I'm sorry.
rewatched the Star Wars prequels? You just pretend they never happened. I have.
Yeah, what? I've watched the prequels, rewatched them.
Yeah, so have I.
I just watched Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith this weekend.
I mean, they're bad, but like
I saw
I was
the
shrugging
first one twice in the theater because I fell asleep the first time, so I went back and saw it.
No, wait. You did not fall asleep the first time.
Yeah.
Your whole audience would have been cheering and laughing and clapping.
We camped out for like 2 weeks, and I camped out that entire night prior, and I was exhausted, and we went to like it was the first show in the morning. I fell asleep during it.
I just don't believe you.
Remember, this is before I fell asleep right leading up to the pod race. Remember, this is before like midnight shows and Thursday releases and stuff. I saw Attack of the Clones once in the theater, and I saw Revenge of the Sith once in the theater, and I think I saw them all once after they came out, but I never owned them in any form, and I've not watched them since.
I watched Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith with my kids this weekend. And
your kids are going to throw you into lava now?
No. There are good parts to those movies, but majority of it is shit.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, just watching Hayden Christensen butcher Anakin Skywalker, and it's.
I don't blame any of the actors. It's a script.
No, I know. I blame Hayden Christensen because
I don't.
What? Have you seen the movie Life as a House?
No. What the fuck?
Okay, there is a movie called Life as a House.
That doesn't have anything to do with his acting capability in Star Wars.
Which came out before he starred in Star Wars. The exact same role in that movie is the exact same character that he played in this movie.
He played Darth Vader in Life is a House?
No, not
That's crazy. That is fucking not canon. I call shenanigans.
The same character is in the whininess and just so painful to watch.
Okay.
So, yes, I've watched the prequels.
Let me guess.
Yes,
you like
I've
them.
probably watched them more than anybody else at this table. No, I would not necessarily say that I went out of my way to own them, but I did buy the box set when they came out with all 6 of them when that came out.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
You love them.
And I mean, like everything else, it's very much as in, if my kids want to watch them, I'm not going to be like, no, those are shit. If my kids like them, I don't really care.
My kids know that Jar Jar Binks is a piece of shit character, and they go, oh, look, Jar Jar Binks. Ugh. I've trained them correctly.
That's got to be racist.
You know, the best thing ever about Jar Jar Binks.
The best thing ever about Jar Jar Binks. I can't wait to hear how the sentence
Jar Jar
ends.
Binks
oh man,
is the amount of entertainment that character still gives me. As friends of mine just have way too much fun mocking him.
Yeah. Well,
years and years later, he is still open for easy mockery.
Yeah. Well, and the thing, there's that internet thing going around for a long time where he's a Sith Lord.
Yeah. Oh. And all the Robot Chicken episodes with him in it. Yeah. I mean, it's just the mocking fodder that Jar Jar creates is just
equal to
amazing.
Aquaman? Is it equal to Aquaman on those Robot Chickens?
I don't know about that much.
I'd say he's easier to mock than Aquaman.
Yeah, but that's why mocking Aquaman is so much more epic. Yeah, I don't know why we're spending so much time talking about this question. Yeah, I've watched them. I don't know, a couple times. I don't even know if I own them or not. With Apple products, it's all, did I buy them? Did I not? Did I rent them? Did I buy them? I don't even know.
Hey, where's my Doctor Who Blu-rays?
They're very well protected. They're on this big ass fucking table in my garage, protected from the elements, and 3/4 watched. I'm just saving your shelf space, bro. You're gonna have to get rid of some.
I'm going to.
You're gonna have to get rid of some Marvel movies to put them to put your Blu-rays back.
I'm out of room. Question from Marco. He says, most improved writer of DC Rebirth. For me, it's down to Robert Venditti or Scott Lobdell. Both Green Lantern and Red Hood are vastly better now, and that is 100% the answer. The difference in writing between Green Lantern to Hal Jordan and Red Hood to the new Red Hood book is shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
I don't think Hal Jordan will make my top 3, but it would make my top 5. That book has gone from being the one that I'm so disappointed with every time I read his run on Green Lantern to being easily one of the best of the Rebirth titles with Hal Jordan.
The current issue with the reveal at the end, you're just like, the pacing is there, and it feels like it's moving forward, but we still get small bits of character development in that book, and it's like there's this story that's brewing and building. So.
This last issue of Hal Jordan is it's like one step down from Sinestro Corps War. The characters that they
whoa. What?
Okay, I have a
What title? I wasn't even paying attention
Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps. I have a very particular love of 2 characters that make a huge appearance no pun intended, a huge appearance in this last issue of Hal Jordan, and I was like,
Slapstick and Squirrel Girl.
No, this is the most. Yes. I'm very excited for these characters.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
So, rewinding back to Green Lantern Rebirth for a moment, one of the things that
you loved it.
Well, yes. One of the things that I really, really appreciated that Johns did really, really well is he took a lot of things that people point to Green Lantern and be like, this doesn't make sense or this was stupid, and he would sort of utilize that within the story, give it new context, and make it work better going forward. Like the whole idea of the fact that the ring didn't work on Yellow now had an explanation, now had sort of a way going forward that they could deal with that.
God, Johns is so incredible.
I feel the same way about Vendetti's Green Lantern. He took a lot of stuff that I hated that he was doing and stuff that he was building up. He built it up to a certain point where like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. But then when he started this new books, he didn't just drop all that and be like, oh, no, we're not going to acknowledge all this stuff I was doing with prior to doing Rebirth. But he now is utilizing it as part of this new story, giving it different sort of payoff and context, making the payoff to this stuff feel much more epic. And
look, if it turns out that Brainiac's actually like Relic in disguise or something, I'm going to throw all these books in garbage. But like, he seemed to have fixed any of these problems he had.
Well, the thing is
if
you go from what was it issue.
And Red Hood has been super, super good, by the way.
What issue did he start writing?
21.
21. So if you take from issue 21 to issue, 9 now for Hal Jordan?
Yeah, that's right.
You can definitely see his growth in understanding of the character, in understanding of the mythos, the universe, all of the characters associated with that, John spent a decade building up to. You can see his growth from those, going through those issues, because that first story arc was garbage, but there are little ones here and there where he starts to pick up and get better.
Few and far between.
So I think his comfort level also increased as he was writing the character. But yeah, I mean, Red Hood or Lobdell and Vendetti.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, much better. Mm-hmm. All right, got 2 questions here.
Uh-oh.
To wrap up, we got a kind of a multi-part here from our good friend Stefano. He says
hopefully he got his box intact.
He should, yeah. And then one last question to take us out here. But one from Stefano. He says, Stefano always likes talking about the comic sales chart stuff, and I love this because that's part of the stuff I love talking about.
That's next week, dude.
I think next week is sales charts.
It should be. Because everyone's going to want to go on vacation, and they're going to want to get it done fast.
Stefano asks, what would the landscape of the comic market look like if one of the big two, meaning Marvel or DC, held 2/3 of the market? Now, Marvel has actually got to this point. In the past, they used to be like 80-90% of the market. No time recently has Marvel or DC ever dominated quite that much. When Marvel or DC has actually hit 50%, it's pretty shocking. It happens occasionally, but it's not very often. He says, But overall, it would just be, it would not look any different. It would just be something is working so much better than the other. I don't see either Marvel or DC ever hitting like 66% of the market. I think that would be nearly impossible.
Well, you would have to have a lot of independent titles die.
No, you would have to. It wouldn't be
half of the main line or one of the main die.
That's not what would happen. It would be something causes Marvel or DC sales to skyrocket to a ridiculous degree. 2/3 of the market.
All new Inhumans versus X-Men versus Avengers all new now.
Ninth time's the charm. 2/3 of the industry would not. There's no way that independent comics in Marvel or DC would plummet that low that someone at current sales would become 2/3 of the industry. But it could happen where Marvel suddenly finds a way to redistribute their comics through Disney, and suddenly they are selling 100,000 copies of every single book, and at that point, they would have 2/3 of the industry due to distribution. But
what were they during the? I don't know if heyday is too premature a word to use. You and Brock wouldn't shut the fuck up about how but it's Star Wars, it's Disney, it's Marvel, it's Star Wars. Thanks to Star Wars
during that like mid 2015 or so, or early 2015.
I don't remember the year, so I'll
they
rely on
were
your expertise. But
they were.
Did that make it close to 2/3? Or
they were over 40% of the market at that point in time.
I can actually look. Our good friends at Comic-Con.
I thought that both Marvel and DC were over 40% every month.
No. DC's dropped down to like
26?
20s. Yeah.
Wait.
Mid 20s. Yeah. They've had. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, DC's dropped
What's
to like
the
26.
approximate? Again, this is next week, but I don't know if I'll be on next week.
So I'm looking at this is I think this is May 2015. Marvel was 41% of the market. DC was 26%. So this was Marvel had the majority of the top 10. Actually, Marvel had the majority of the top 25. Star Wars or Secret Wars #1 selling 527,000 copies. Star Wars #5 selling 146,000 copies. Yeah, we're a little bit far from that now.
So what is it now?
And that's 41% of the market. Now they're Marvel.
That's crazy.
Isn't it like 30
independents and so third-party comics account for what's the delta
roughly
there? 40% of the market? 30-something% of the market?
20 to high 20s generally.
Well, Image is normally, 7 to 10%?
Well, if we come, I can look at October 2016. Give me a second. Let me get to it. When we go to units shipped, Marvel was 36%. DC was 34%. So there's your...
Okay, so I wasn't that far off.
Yeah,
so
30 each.
Low 40s each.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if these numbers go up and down, Marvel and DC tend to cannibalize from each other. They tend to not impact the indies too much.
I didn't realize that the indies were more than 20% of the market.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Image is normally, 7 to 10%?
Image is usually close to 10, yeah.
And then normally what?
Well, that's only been the last couple of years, though. That's been since 2011 to now.
Because Dark Horse for a while had a small sliver.
Well, Dark Horse has usually been the number 4 or 5 publisher. Yeah. Dark Horse has always been pretty good. Stefano also asks, he goes, what level of depressed sales would it take to put the industry in crisis from either Marvel or DC? And I think that's the scary part is that, it would have to drop to, if we start getting our top selling Marvel or DC comic is like 60,000 copies, 70,000 copies. There have been months where there was not a single book over 100,000 copies. Rare, but it has happened.
There have been months, you mean like 1 month per year?
1 month
rarely?
in the last 1 or 2 months in the last decade, or a couple months here and there.
That's not real.
Yeah, but it can, right? It could. But I think...
No, they figured it out.
Yeah. But the longer this is Stefano's question is how would the store handle, a real big drop in the market like that? And, I've thought about this before.
Ryan sent me his resume.
Yeah. Well, there's that. There's, just cash out for insurance money and just burn the place down. But, back issues are obviously a good source of income. It's a good source of profit, if not income. I told myself years ago that if this became a toy and clothing T-shirt store, then maybe. But
most of the shit that we got rid of.
Yeah, exactly. But actually, it's been the exact opposite. I find the profit and the money come from the comics, and all the merch stuff takes up a lot of space and eats up a lot of profit, and the money comes from the book. So, it would be real tough if comic sales plummeted that low. I think you'd be hard pressed to keep a comic store open.
Yeah, but you also don't see that happening the next. Whatever, time will tell. But
next 5 years, I think, are pretty solid. Past that, who knows, right? But
so when did you take over again?
2006.
Okay, so you fucking survived through the 08-09.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking that's like the toughest test of time.
And we talked about that,
economy wide.
Oh, it is not only that; it's some of the lowest selling time in comics in the last 20 years. Yeah, the sales.
That's what
are terrible.
I'm saying. It's the lowest selling economic crisis in our lifetime, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was when Green Lantern was selling a lot because Johns was writing it.
Yep. Yeah. And those were the times where there were months when no book broke 100,000 copies. Absolutely.
Confirmed. Jeff Johns saved the 08-09 housing crisis market.
Yep. But obviously, do we could do. But I think when you see retail stores start to diversify their main line to those last year or two that I would walk into Barnes or Borders. You just look and you're like,
Borders.
It's going away. Because suddenly 2/3 of the floor is calendars and
random,
day of the.
Well, you go into Barnes and Noble now, they got statues and all these things.
That's how they're having trouble. Oof. That's how you know they're having a lot of trouble, because suddenly it's a bunch of garbage.
You're a
that's
book
not,
in a knick-knack store.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they can make their transition, but not often.
Borders.
It's going to be a rough
back
couple
in the,
years
I mean,
for these guys.
there's no numbers on this, right? Because it doesn't. How Comic-Con goes back to what, 90?
Well, they do numbers back to well. So the good thing about comics is, if you want to know numbers, they used to do the what do they call it? The charts that would be sent once a year to the a post office. For if you look in the bottom of the comics, it would actually tell you what the print run once a year was of the titles, because they would have to report that for some reason to the post office. I don't know why this is. This went through the 90s. It may even still happen. I don't know. But so you could see sales on old titles from time to time. Diamond sales charts start in January 1995.
Yeah. But in the early 90s,
what is the number one comic of January 1995? Who could tell me that?
January 1995.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee you it was X-related book.
So 14 of the top 15 books are Marvel. I'm sorry.
Sounds about right.
I'm sorry, 13 of the top 15 are Marvel.
Also sounds right.
The two that are not are Spawn number 28 and Wildcats Adventures Source Book number 17.
Wait, the
Holy
source book?
fucking shit.
That must have been a Wildcats 17 that for some reason was a source book.
Oh, it might have been the last issue.
Maybe. But I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm sorry. All 11 of the Marvel books on this list are X-Men related. Angela number 2 is actually in here too. So 12 of the top 15 books are Marvel, and all 12 are X-Men related. But there's
fucking shit.
But there's kind of a if you remember what 1995 was, there's sort of a reason why I think this was.
Yeah, it was the Age of Apocalypse, wasn't it?
Yeah. The top titles are Amazing X-Men, Astonishing X-Men, Weapon X, Mutant Generation X, Gambit of the Externals, X-Factor, X-Men, number 1. Those are the top. Those are the top books.
Oh, that's like a little wind out.
How about we go to October 1995? Spawn number 37 was the number 1 comic. Wah, wah.
Yeah, but
wait, what?
Gen 13 number 6 was the number 2. Witchblade number 1 was number 3. Wildcats was number 4. Heir to the Empire is number 5. Fucking She. Oh, hey. This is when Marvel wasn't distributed by Diamond and they almost went bankrupt. That's why there's no Marvel comics on this list. Well, all these books outsold Batman, which is the number 7 comic of the month. So this is when this is when Marvel almost went out of business. This is when they filed for bankruptcy.
I read a book about this.
Yeah.
When they were issuing junk bonds.
This is when they left Diamond.
I have a copy. I need to read it.
This is when they left Diamond and tried to open up their own distribution company, and this is literally when this is what caused Sony and Fox to get Spider-Man and X-Men, and
there's a book that I read that goes into the whole history. I read it. Fucking, when did I even read it? Jesus, 2 decades ago. But it chronicles it pretty well, and it's very depressing.
There was a recent one that came out like about a few years ago about the Marvel.
Same thing.
Is it the same as just?
I don't know.
No, I think it was a different one. You had it on the shelf.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of books about the history of Marvel. All right, we got one last question here on Twitter. This is from Dr. Razor.
Where the heck is Mitch?
Razor.
I'm a little pissed off.
I've been waiting to troll you on Hey Mitch for episodes now. And Mitch, you're not writing in. I can't troll Brock. Hey Mitch.
He says, does your store play music? If so, what music does DJ Higgins play?
Oh my God.
Balls.
Oh God.
On a good day or a bad day?
So
it's the same day.
So
you don't get exposed to when he gets in his Rastafari reggae mood.
So I was gonna get to that.
That's okay. I'm just waiting for Ryan to announce his new streaming music service.
The conspiracy playlists.
Beats by Higgins.
It's on your Spotify, right? It'll be on our Spotify for the store.
I'm an 80s boy, so a lot of new wave.
What?
Although
80s boy born in 79.
Well, here's the thing. The music I play in the store is not always indicative of... I mean, it's music I like, but it is not necessarily the music I always listen to on my own. A lot of it is, but there's other stuff too, because I do try to mix in other stuff. So, I mean, a lot of new wave, a lot of 80s stuff. But I play a lot of some alternative, some like modern alternative stuff.
Okay, can I give a little backstory here?
Hold on. A lot of Britpop. a lot of classic rock, actually, in recent years. I always loved classic rock. I grew up on classic rock. But things like Pandora and Spotify have allowed me to hear music that I didn't really own prior, right? And it's stuff that I wouldn't have really bought. So Spotify I've actually been using a lot more recently, and I really like, because I'm just like, go to Led Zeppelin, add all to list. Cool. Go to next band, add all to list. Shuffle everything. Shuffle 50,000 songs, right?
Well, because when we were listening to Pandora, we would know what time it was based on what.
There was.
Oh, what was it? It was the.
I love Pandora's music.
Yeah.
Like their radio, I mean.
Yeah.
But I do find it got real repetitive.
No, because it was Who Are You?
Is it Who Are You?
Who Are You would come on and we were like, it's 4 o'clock, right?
Yeah, like weird.
It was like every day.
Yeah, like songs would come on all the same time. So I definitely find I can mix it up a little bit more with Spotify, which I really like. Well, now, the problem that Brock has is that I've rediscovered, now when I worked at a record store for a number of years, so being a big fan of 80s music, a lot of 80s songs are covers, right? And a lot of them end up being, especially the British stuff, ends up being covers of 60s and 70s reggae, ska, rocksteady stuff coming over from the islands, because a lot of those people lived in England and brought their music over. And so a lot of the kids that grew up in the 70s, 60s and 70s that formed bands in the 80s, this is the music that they heard when they were growing up. So a lot of these guys covered stuff. And even American acts like Blondie, I mean, she covered a bunch of the stuff. So
they covered a lot of rocksteady stuff.
Yeah.
Did they cover any bebop stuff?
I mean, all the, Trojan Record, yes.
Sorry.
But Trojan Records is a company that played all this stuff, early Bob Marley and Lee Scratch Perry and trying to pull names out of my head right now. Anyway, a lot of early ska and reggae stuff. They had these awesome Trojan Record box sets, and I used to play them at the store every now and again. It's mellow, right? It's easy going, pretty mellow stuff.
Love reggae.
And it dawned on me one day, I'm like, oh man, people make these great playlists on Spotify. Let me go check this. This was a couple months back or so. I look up Trojan Records. Someone had taken basically every Trojan Record box that ever existed, put them into one playlist. It's like 50 hours. And I'm just like, oh yes, shuffle, play. This is my playlist for like the rest of the year. And Brock hates this stuff.
I hate it. I like this music. It's just when you're listening to this music, you want to be on a beach, sipping an alcoholic beverage.
When the hell was the last time you went to a beach and had an alcoholic beverage?
That is a great fucking question.
Very long time.
Do you even remember what it feels like to do that?
No.
You don't seem like a beach guy.
I've had kids.
I don't see you on a beach.
Sand gets everywhere.
Yeah.
It's very coarse.
See, I think I'm much more of a beer and lake shore kind of guy.
That's fine too.
They have beaches at lakes. That could have disqualified my whole argument.
So my music in the store, occasionally if I bring my iPod in and I have some of my
that
more
is rare.
When I bring my iPod in, it goes all over the place because I'll be like, oh, here's like 24 Tom Waits songs in a row, and now I'm gonna play Wumpscut, and it just goes all over the place. I'm gonna play this like crazy German industrial stuff, and then without fail, Closer by Nine Inch Nails will come on when there's like 7 kids in the store, and I'm like, skip
every single time,
like every time.
Well, the thing is so I've been here almost 9 years, and when I first started working here, your playlist was just straight 80s.
Oh, yeah.
80s new it. Boom, that was it. Yeah. And it took years of trying to convince you to add something to it. Like, I was like, please just add some classic rock. Please just add some classic rock. And you finally did, right?
I don't think... Okay, sorry.
So you're saying you opened up the gateway.
I didn't want to go there.
There was a
Brock
point...
is taking responsibility.
Hold on. There was a point in time I would come in and I would thank Ryan for playing this music because that meant I didn't need to listen to it at all for the rest of the week because I got my dose on Mondays and Tuesdays when I came into work.
I have probably heard Blue Monday by New Order 25,000 times in my life. Maybe more. I mean, right? It's just one of those songs that I hear twice a day, every single day, for 30 years. Right?
I probably heard it 25 times ever, and it was all been here.
Well, what's funny is I remember your playlist was going on, and I'm like, oh, cool, this is Dead Can Dance, and you turned around and went,
Yeah.
How the fuck do you know what Dead Can Dance
Deep
is?
cuts, man. I figure if you've read Sandman, you've probably heard Dead Can Dance.
Well, no, I worked at a
God.
record store.
Okay, are there any more questions?
No, that's it.
Well, no, the question that comes out of that is, are you actually going to post the comic store's Spotify playlist?
I don't have, my Spotify playlist is all the random garbage I click like on Spotify. So, yeah.
Can we talk about how it's way too early for All New Wolverine to be doing Enemy of the State 2?
I gave up on that book. I liked it when it started, but I got
No,
so
you know what
bored
we
with
should
it.
do? We should go around and figure out.
It hasn't been bad. It hasn't been good, but it hasn't been bad. It's been perfectly serviceable. But, like, Enemy of the State is a great classic Wolverine story. I say classic in air quotes because it was, all
10
things
years ago.
considered
8 years ago.
relatively recent.
Yeah.
But it's way too early for them to be like, oh, we'll just pull this name and it'll get us extra sales.
So,
It didn't.
so what?
Yeah.
What Marvel? So Ryan, what Marvel event title do you think needs a number 2 attached to it? So they've done.
Oh.
They've done Civil War 2. They've done Enemy of the State.
Fear
2.
Itself 2, 2017. DC takes over 66% of the industry.
I was going to say, if they do Fear Itself 2, that's just going to take all numbers.
No, you know what's going to happen in like 3 years? What they should do is Acts of Vengeance 2 and just wait, which is the one where they killed off all those B-list characters? Was it Acts of Vengeance?
I think so.
Acts of Vengeance is one where the villains all changed, right? Where the villains all switched.
No, the Acts of Vengeance is when the heroes swapped villains.
Or villains, yeah,
They didn't
yeah.
swap heroes to villains, but they like changed.
But who's
like
the
X-Men
guy?
won't fight Magneto, Iron Man will fight Magneto.
Yeah, who's the guy that was going around killing all like the
Scourge.
D-list? Yeah,
that wasn't like, an event though. That just happened during the Captain America books.
but that happened in like multiple titles, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But there wasn't like an event around that.
Well, I
That
figure in
just-
about 5 years they should make Scourge 2 because they're going to have a lot of fucking filler to
Dude.
to
So
kill off.
I think that
Galactic Storm
I
2?
am okay. Look, HeroClix lesson 10. What are we on? Probably 7. Scourge, the limited edition character of Scourge for all of my homies that played HeroClix back in the day. If you played HeroClix from the beginning, it was I think the Ultimate Set, which was like the second expansion. Had this Scourge limited edition character that was like the most broken character to date. Anyway, so I was like, what the fuck is this Scourge character? Because I didn't read Captain America in the 80s. But apparently, he's this character that this vigilante in the Captain America book that would show up not only in Captain America books, but in Captain America related books. They would just kill off B-list, C-list, D-list villains because they were just having some Marvel purge. The best like Marvel writing to date, I think, is this Scourge stuff. Is just like getting rid of this shit because how many...
There's about 19 Spider-Man characters that can die in the next crossover.
Craig, how many healers does the X-Men need? Do the X-Men need? Like, can Scourge come back in and just get rid of...
Hey, on Twitter, people were telling
I
me...
don't even want it to be Scourge this time. I'm just trying to think, what character can they prop up by just mowing down? Like,
I was bitching on Twitter about Death of X, and I said, "What?" I said, "Can't Cyclops just start taking all these random X-Men healers and start throwing them into the mist to see if they can get rid of the rest
No,
of them?"
you're being an asshole because if you were following Uncanny X-Men, you would know that they're almost all
I was gonna say, but they
dead.
all got killed off. Yeah,
Yeah, in Uncanny X-Men 1 and 2.
I was like, but there's
which
like
is
nine-
such a great... So, okay,
I was like, "There's
so
like
a couple
90
things.
of them, though. Can't they just? They don't kill that many off."
Okay, so a couple things. So I agree with that, by the way. So I think that they missed a real opportunity with Punisher. How have they not been using Punisher to, like, cut some of the... What is the expression? The wheat from the chaff from the wheat? You're cutting something from something. Anyway, they're missing a big opportunity with Punisher not being able to be like, oh, he actually does kill people. Right now he's killing a bunch of people that nobody knows, but like he could actually kill people of import. Second of all, yeah, Death of X would have been a great example, even if it wasn't Cyclops. Or even better, Emma Frost as like quote unquote Cyclops.
They can just start putting random healers in catapults and just start shooting them into the mist just over and over and just see what happens.
No, now you're being an asshole. There weren't that many healers.
Bryce,
they only killed like 17.
Bryce, let me help you imagine this. Imagine the Squirrel Girl art of this stuff happening.
Well, this Elixir
No.
dickhead, like, what the hell was his deal? Did he come out of just this book?
Didn't he fall like from high up in the sky and survive?
Yeah, they like threw him into the cloud, right?
You guys, oh no, Elixir is like actually Did he even end up dying in Uncanny X-Men?
Yeah.
He died in Death of
No,
X.
he died in Death of X. Isn't he the one they threw into the cloud?
No, you're being an asshole.
Who was it?
That was his name was fucking Claude or Claudius or
What?
No,
Is that not Elixir?
No, it's some dude with glasses.
Yeah, I thought
he fucking looks like you without
Alchemy.
glasses.
What?
Alchemy.
Oh, Alchemy.
Alchemy, yeah, he was
Thank you.
created for Death of
For
X.
Death of X, right.
Yeah.
I was like, well, fuck, just create 2 more mutants and throw them, just catapult them into the cloud.
Just have them hold hands.
That was a brutal Frank Quitely art scene in Death of X *4 when they throw him into the cloud and he just starts bleeding, his skin just melts off, and you're just like
like a Kira or something.
because he didn't want to, and then he's like, I guess I'll help the X-Men. Okay, guys, let's go, let's do this. Throw me into the cloud, and then his skin melts off. He's like, I regret nothing.
It took 2 times because they had to.
Oh yeah, because Sunfire. No, Inferno.
He
sorry,
falls,
my bad.
He falls from the sky and he still survives the fall, and then they toss him back.
Because Sunfire's holding him. Inferno shoots him down from the sky. He breaks his arm, and Sunfire's like, "Come on, kid, don't be pussy." And he's like, God. All right, let's go again. And so he goes up into the sky. He throws him into the cloud, and he transmogrifies it as he's alchemizes. I don't even know what the fucking verb is. But he does it on his way down, and he just looks like a pustulating mess. It's actually some of Frank Quitely's better artwork.
Not Frank Quitely.
If you see this pustulating, maggot-ridden corpse of this alchemy character, it's the best art Frank Quitely's ever done. Anyway, this is all in Death of X *4, and so you just need to see this.
Have you read All-Star Superman? Have you ever read All-Star
and
Superman?
Cyclops, yeah, with pustully ass Lex Luthor and fucking college-y Clark Kent. Anyway, so Cyclops,
and that's actually his artwork. Death of X.
So Cyclops is like, "Oh, kid, it'll be okay. You're gonna be okay, kid." And meanwhile, Cyclops doesn't exist. He's dead, and Emma Frost is in his mind, "You're about to die." I'm actually surprised that she even bothered. I don't know.
It's all for the idea.
Emma Frost and Captain Marvel can team up, and they could be the new villain team.
I guess so, except that Emma Frost is actually awesome. But also, they have Havoc. He was
Yeah, what the heck happened to his face?
Okay.
Oh, I can answer, but Charlie looks like he's chomping at the bit.
No,
go, Charlie, go. Let him
that
have
actually made what I was thinking work. So you have the Punisher kill all the B-list villains and stuff you want to kill.
How have they not done this? They had Scourge.
I don't want Punisher to kill the B-list villains. I want Punisher to kill the B-list heroes.
No, I want Emma Frost.
Purge.
Sure.
So Emma Frost has to kill all the Inhuman garbage that has started.
Please.
So now you have that.
Please do. Charlie for president.
Now who kills the rest of the heroes?
Of Marvel.
Yes, that don't need to be there.
Doesn't matter. Just Punisher kills all the Great Lakes Avengers and all the Spider.
Wait, what the
women
fuck?
And
you love
and
Great Lakes Avengers
and all the Spider alternate reality guys.
No. You bring back
The
OG Venom to just go around killing
I was going
a
to say,
bunch of them.
and the 19 Venom
That would be a good
hosts that aren't Eddie Brock, and
would be a good one.
everyone involved in Shadowlands.
Or you could just have, Scarlet Witch and Franklin Richards have sex, and then the whole universe is different.
That'd be.
Why do they have to have sex?
That'd be real scary.
That would be weird.
I don't think that they have to have sex. I mean, he's a minor, bro. That's weird.
It could be an older story.
That's
She could be into younger guys.
Anyway, how about so Havoc had his face blown off.
I don't even remember. I do
remember.
We have to thank people here on Patreon.
No, I remember. Oh, it's coming to me.
So tell me really quick, because we have to thank these people on Patreon.
No, why don't you go first? No, I do remember. It just happened.
I can't tell you the last time I saw
Was
it.
it in an annual?
Was it in that?
No.
Third X-Men, third Summers Brother book?
No,
a couple years
it was after. You mean the Rise and Fall of the Shi'ar Empire?
Yeah,
it was after that.
No. The event thing they did after Rise and Fall, didn't they? Oh no, that was before, because that's where they introduced the brother.
Oh, you mean the when they did the space stuff again after?
You're talking about the War of
War of Kings. It was War of Kings. Yes.
Rise and Fall of Shi'ar Empire too.
No, Charlie's scowling at me. I thought I'm now thinking it was War of Kings. I'm trying to remember.
No, I don't remember him getting scarred in that, but it's been a long time.
Because at the end of X-Men before...
Well, because he disappeared for fucking literally years.
Well, at the end of the
why
X-Men...
did he... By the way, what the fuck? Death of X? Why is Havoc showing up? He literally played no part other than like talking shit to
I had no idea who it was until a little bit into the book where I think someone calls him Havoc, and I'm like, oh,
You're
that's
like,
Havoc?
Oh, so DC gets Tom King and Marvel gets Two-Face?
Yeah. All right, we got to wrap up here. We're going to thank all our great friends at Patreon. It's the beginning of the month, so
look this up.
all our wonderful backers here on Patreon. While Bryce looks this up, our top tier backers here, of course.
It's going to gnaw at him.
Our good friend Albert Soy. He's got that plant everywhere on iTunes. Make sure you check that out. Julian Titus has the Nerds Yellow Pants podcast at pixelbit.com.
No pants.
It's Toby all the way in Chicago yelling no pants. Ryan Hess has the Preach podcast at soundcloud.com/Preach podcast. Also want to thank our good friend Jody Lawson with the Canon Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicsstudio.com. And a few of our high-tier backers that just love this podcast so much. Manoa Place, Sam Shea, and Talon Bray.
Thank you, guys. Everyone.
Now, if you want to donate some money to us at patreon.com/comicconspiracy, you can talk to us on the Patreon forums, which not a lot of people do. You get some big questions on there. Make a thread.
Well,
ask us anything.
I would have to donate to be able to talk.
Unfortunately, I don't have a way for multiple people to log in. You can also get some cool backer rewards exclusive only to people that back us on Patreon at any tier. And Bryce, I know we are due for a Bryce Briefly very soon here.
Yeah, because we have to get through from the G's.
And I think Charlie and
I do owe you the second half of the alphabet.
Charlie and Toby, I think, have another episode of the Roundup coming up sometime, hopefully before the end of the year. So be on the lookout for those. We'll get you guys some cool stuff to listen to. So let's thank our good friends Alex McHale, Matthew Schnapp, Don Kilson, Mark Long, Ivan Liskanik, Brian Morawski, Matthew Holmes, Paula Schultz, Blake Etheridge, Keith Amaral.
Ivan, congrats on the newborn.
There you go. David Polanco, Christopher Noyes, Kevin Nguyen, David Safar, Stephen McLary, Travis, Gary Hollinsby, Chris Freeman, John G, Sloan, Ocularis, Aaron Wright, Father Dante, Nick Harrison, Joel Jimenez, Chris Palicki, Kevin Ellis, Stephen Hayden, Just Anthony, and Edgar Moreno. Thank you guys all very, very much. We appreciate all the money you guys give us. And your continued support helps pay for the podcast and pizza and hosting and all that jazz. We have to also tell you guys you should go to... Oh, don't forget, please... By Monday the 19th, give us your list of your top 5 or your top 3 of those 5 categories that we mentioned at the beginning of this podcast at thecomicconspiracy@geekbox.net. Thank you. Don't forget to go to comicconspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, and the iTunes for this podcast and all our previous episodes. Please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes if you can. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz, that's where you can go buy all your digital comics. A lot of great sales all the time. Black Friday happens, so that's kind of, I think, your big one, but they'll probably have something for the end of the year.
Have they been doing the Christmas one yet?
I don't think so.
The 12 days?
They usually do like a free comic every day.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think they've started that yet, but keep an eye out for that. ConspiratorBrock.com, that's Brock's video pull list, or video blog and pull list. Video pull list
just say vlog.
And blog. Brock's vlog. I will never say vlog again. One, it's the most disgusting word of all time.
Please never say that word again.
Yeah,
I hate typing it.
Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension. That's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast covering the new animated episodes that are up right now, as well as my wife Leanne's Etsy shop. That's etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. Check that out, please. We're all on Twitter. Ryan Higgins, Ryan, Brock Sager, Larson, Bryce, Toby XI, Insanity and Chaos, and Comics Con Store. That's the store. Add us all, please. Charlie is Insanity and Chaos, by the way. The rest of us are our names. Geekbox, Comedy Button, Good Job, Brian, All Talk Podcast, Manga Machinations. Make sure you give those a listen to. If you're a longtime listener to the Geekbox, you should listen to this week's episode. You'd be pleasantly surprised. It's our 400th episode. We talk about Westworld and lots of other stuff from the last couple of years. Give it a listen. Thank you guys very much, and we'll be back next week.